Good morning. Welcome to the Center Church podcast. Just want to kind of catch everyone up. So we've been going through a series on relationships over the last month. And here on the podcast, I just continue to highlight what's been taking place. This Sunday, my dear friend and mentor, Marvin Jacobo, will be speaking on keeping your commitment in relationships. Keeping your commitment in relationships. So, this week has been very, how would I say, challenging, if you would. There have been moments where I have been in conversations about individuals that have passed. I have been in conversations with individuals that have been in the hospital, but I've also been in moments where I'm spending time with like my grandson on Saturday for the entire day. And since we've been talking about the importance or the value of relationships, I want to talk about that for just a moment. And here's what I would like to start off by saying, and that is relationships are built moment by moment. Let me say that again. Relationships are built moment by moment. In fact, what I would like to do as well is just look at some scripture and highlight some of the statements that are made in several different books, James and then the Psalms. James chapter 4 verse 14 says, "You don't even know what tomorrow will bring, what your life will be." In fact, it talks about that our lives are just but a vapor. One moment we are here, and the next moment we are gone. You don't even know what tomorrow will bring. And then the Psalms, Psalm 90 verse 12 says this, "Teach us to number our days carefully, so that we may develop wisdom in our hearts." Teach us to number our days carefully, so that we may develop wisdom in our hearts. And every day matters. Every moment matters. Watch this in Psalm 118, verse 24. "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." This day. When I think of that word rejoice, it simply means to stir it up again. I remember when I was young, we would go out to the reservoir on camping trips, and they would have this huge bucket, if you would. And in it was a lot of ice, Kool-Aid, and a lot of sugar. And one thing that I noticed, that when it was first all put together, it was very refreshing. But over time, all the sugar, all the good stuff, right, would settle to the bottom. And someone needed to stick a big spoon in there and stir it up, so that way when you stuck your cup in there, it'd be refreshing. to rejoice, to stir it up, to remember. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I want to say this, and that is, our lives are short compared to eternity. Let me say that again. Our lives are short compared to eternity. Moment by moment. Look, the reality is that, yes, the messiness of relationships, right? Such as expectations and disappointments and betrayal, hurts, lies, and misunderstandings. There are so many obstacles to loving people and being loved by them. But here it is. Look, we were created for relationships. And this is what I want you to hear for just a moment. And if we only had 1 month left, I want you to think about that for a moment. If we only had 1 month left, we would be more concerned about the relationships than ever before. Are you with me? Teach us to number our days carefully so that we may develop wisdom in our hearts. Remember that day? Remember, I'm just, made me, this week again made me begin to think, remember that day? So I began to think about the importance of these relationships moment by moment as I began to understand that relationships are being built moment by moment. Laughter, or that moment when I said, I do. The commitment that I made to my wife, that moment. Or the moment that I said yes to the Lord in regards of my relationship with Him. That pivotal moment that would transform my life. And we all have these moments that are building the relationships. We just need to remember them. Here's what I know. It's a hard fact, but it's truth. Not everyone woke up this morning. Let me say that again. Here's what I know. Not everyone woke up this morning. But you did. What an opportunity to love well. What an opportunity to be able to build these moments and appreciate the people that are around you. To carefully remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. What I'm learning. 2 thoughts I'll leave you with. Remember pivotal moments in our relationships. We all have them. We just need to reflect. Remember pivotal moments in our relationships. It made me just think about a time, a couple of years, it was years ago, but my son and I just wrestling on the couch. That was a pivotal moment. I remember that. It helps me to rejoice. It helps me to appreciate the relationship between my son and I. I remember the moment I'm thinking about roller skating with my daughter and her boyfriend, and I remember her falling and just thinking of how I could help. But I remember that. What I'm saying is that there are pivotal moments in our lives that we just need to reflect and remember. It will help us to appreciate the relationships all around us. And then secondly, I want to say this. Remember, we have opportunity to live today, not just to exist, but to live. Remember, we have opportunity to live today, to love completely. To see people, to live fully and completely. Again, not just simply to exist. And then, as I said last week, and I will say it again today, and that is, time is one of the greatest expressions of love. Time is one of the greatest expressions of love. You have opportunity today to live, to love fully and completely, to embrace the moments, the laughter, the sadness. It's the moment. And in that moment, you will see, and I hope that we could learn together the value of that moment. Man, this is the day. This day. Not tomorrow, but this day. Teach us to number our days carefully, so that we may develop wisdom in our hearts. Tomorrow will come. But as I said earlier, will I be a part of tomorrow? I'm not sure. Because there were people today that didn't wake up, that are not a part of today, but you are. What a privilege. What an opportunity. My prayer today is going to be that we would live fully and completely, and to know that relationships are built moment by moment. So again, this week, there's a few things I wanted to say, and that is we gather here on Sundays at 11:15 a.m., 2019 Fraser Street in South Modesto. You're welcome to join us at that time. You could also watch live stream at Center Modesto. That's our Facebook page. Also tomorrow on Thursdays from 6 to 8, we open up our space, and City Life, they're here, and with a collaborative effort, we are reaching out to teenagers in our community, and I pray that perhaps if you have some young ones, you bring them by and into this space where we build relationships and help students know who they are. They're important too, and we would love to see your students come by from 6 to 8 o'clock. Again, we open up our space, and we collaborate with City Life, great volunteers, and just thought I'd mention that. And so thank you for tuning in. Pray that you will have a great day. And spread the word. Every Wednesday, 10 o'clock, I come on here, and I hope to be a blessing to those that tune in and that are watching. Let me check just for a moment before I go out. Good morning. I choose to live. Thank you for that statement. I choose to live. Yes. God bless all of you.